I just started looking for resources in the city of Jackson and in the surrounding areas. And I found a lot of what I needed, but things kind of seemed disjointed, right? Like I was like, I had to go here for this piece and here for this piece. Sometimes people wouldn't call you back, or you couldn't reach the person that you needed. And I've learned, throughout my life that in addition to being highly organized and having a really capable, consistent support system, that you also need clear vision and you need mentoring. And women, especially women of color, need to have an opportunity to really come alongside someone that's already doing what they want to do and to see it firsthand. And we've talked about this before, to decide whether or not it's a hobby, it's a business, it's a foundation, it's going to be something more like an outreach, just kind of understanding how committed they want to be to this particular project. Is it a project or is it a dream? Is it a dream? Is it a business that can hire other people? All of those things happen not by osmosis. They happen because you actually connect with other people, other powerful women in business that really can help you see the path and understand the way. So I started the Success House because I couldn't find a mastermind group in the city of Jackson that was helping people bring an idea from their brain to the marketplace. And oh my gosh, I didn't know how to fund it. I just started saving money. I downloaded the Acorn app and I started putting a portion of my salary aside, and I would just give a $1,200, $500, $1,000 just stipend or scholarship or funding piece to ladies that wanted to start a business. And I really, really felt like if we were going to see the pay gap really be fixed, if we were going to see women jump out of the bed with a dream and have a vision for their life, if we were going to see women really manifest their greatness, that they needed a platform, which became the Success House, where they could come together and receive that mentoring, that coaching, that entrepreneurship training firsthand. And so that's what I did. So yeah, for many, many years, way back before people knew Tonya Ware, I was going to women's homes and teaching them business, everything from how to make a bed and how to keep a house, to how to raise their children, how to teach them early childhood learning skills, and how to take a business and bring it into the marketplace. I just think that Mississippi is so pregnant with greatness, right? I feel like that we have all the ingredients and the tools that we need, that sometimes we just need a vehicle to help us get to where we want to go. So the Success House is a vehicle. We host master classes. I partner with Millsap College and teach master classes there. We provide coaching and training and how to write your book in 60 days, because a lot of times women in business want to also launch a speaking career, and writing a book does that. And we just help women get their business up and moving. And usually if a woman comes into our program within 10 to 11 months, she can go to market. Wow. So
that's amazing. And I want to go back to a term you used, pregnant, with possibilities here in Mississippi, because I definitely feel like that. And I think it's about getting really ready for that to happen, for good things to happen, and prepare for it. When we are women and we're getting ready to birth our children, there's a lot of preparation goes on it. We're painting the room, we're buying the clothes, we're setting up people to help us care for the child. We're putting all these things in place, and I think that's where this pandemic has allowed us the opportunity to do that. And I am
so ready for 2021. Oh my gosh. Not because I'm sad and I want 2020 to be over. It has been the hardest year all of us have experienced. But I'm so ready because I took my time in the cave to really prepare myself to incubate that greatness. So January 1, I have a whole lot of projects that will be released. I wrote another book. I'm working on a volume 2 of Signature of God. I just got so much. I cleaned my house. I cleaned my brain.
Right. That's
right?
a big thing there.
I purged and cleaned my soul, because you do have to detox your soul to be successful. One of the stories that I really love in the Bible is the story of Esther. And before she came to the king to save her people, she went through a series of massages and baths, and they called it the purification process. She had this fairly intense regimen that she was required to endure before she could be crowned, properly dressed, and go and enter into the place where the answers were, right? So I think a lot of times as women, we cannot allow ourselves to become so busy that we do not prepare ourselves for that meeting that we have with the king, the opportunity that's going to come our way to launch a business, to start a business, to receive the funding, to receive a seat at the table, to come into a circle with people that can take you to where you want to go. It takes a lot of preparation, but that's what this year has been for me. It's been a time to, even Joseph, if you look at the story of Joseph, after everything that he went through, it talks about how he had to still go through this process before he could come before Pharaoh. Even before he left the prison, he was told, we've got to cut your hair, change your clothes, make some adjustments so that you can be prepared and ready and receive what you're about to receive at the highest possible optimum level. And I just want to help women learn to embrace the change. I just want to help women learn to embrace that time of preparation, because after this, something great really is coming into your life, and you deserve it. You just got to be ready for it. Right. So now, that's what I've been really doing.
And now, and I want to continue in that conversation, because when you talk about women getting ready, what are some of the success strategies, a few that you can share with us right now that women need to, or I don't even say would need to, women can begin to utilize to get themselves ready? You talked about this cave that you were in, that you're ready to come out of that cave because that's been a preparation time for you. What's some of the strategy you like to share with women right now, even if they've been just kind of surviving for the last few months, and we know at some point we got to get to thriving, we got to put the gas to the pedal. So share some advice.
So there are three things that I have done. The first thing was I became extremely clear with vision. I think a lot of times we don't accomplish the business success that we want, the life success that we want, the relationship success that we want, because we don't have a clear vision. And I just sat down one day with a piece of paper and I said, Tonya, what do you want? If you could wake up tomorrow, money was not an issue, health was not an issue, the pandemic was not an issue, what would you do with your life? And I think you have to, first of all, write that down, and you have to give yourself an opportunity to say it out of your mouth. I think a lot of times people do with their lives what we a lot of times do at Assembly. We have a silent request. But when it comes to your life manifesting greatness, you really have to say something. And so I started with, just writing down what I really wanted out of life, and that makes vision clear. And a clarified vision can easily come to pass. You know what you want, and you know what you don't want. You know what you're willing to endure, and you know what you're not willing to put up with anymore. And so it starts with clear vision. The next thing I did was I began to make myself available for, or make myself noticeable to other people that have capacity to really support that vision. Right? I think what a lot of people don't realize is that every time they're late, they resign themselves to a lower level of living. And people that are watching your life that can really help you step back, because they only dwell in the place where things are really, really efficient and effective. If you allow your thoughts, your conversation to be cluttered, to foster confusion within your family, within your business, then that people watch that and they go, wow, some days she's like this and some days she's like that. So you really have to, after having a clear vision of what you want, you really have to do inner work within yourself. A lot of times people want to be super religious and say, Lord, your kingdom come in earth as it is in heaven. And they want to be mad at the Jackson potholes, and they want to be mad at this person on the city council, and they want to be mad at this that happened and that happened in the public school system. But that earth is first us. Kingdom come first in me. Mm-hmm. Change me, do an inner work in me first, so that the inner work that's done in me will spill out to my community, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're joyful, you're going to walk into a room and bring joy. Mm-hmm. If you have wisdom, you're going to walk into a room and bring wisdom. If you have knowledge, if you have a spirit to nurture, you're going to walk into a room and you're going to make everyone in that room, I don't care what they've been through, feel and know that they're important. So it starts with a clear vision. The next thing you do is you do an inner work so that you can surround yourself, attract capable, consistent people that can support that vision. And then the third thing that I did was I started making room by getting organized. When you think about the law of attraction, and when you think about the blessing, the walking in that destiny that you have been called to, you have to make room. You have to make room in your thoughts, mm-hmm. right? Because mm-hmm. we have so many attention units. And if we use those attention units for things that don't push us forward, then we're automatically pushing ourselves backwards. Mm-hmm. So you have attention units that you really have to say, what am I going to put my attention on today? And what will I meditate on today? What will I engage my energy, mm-hmm. my strength, my time, treasure, my talent? What will I engage those things in that will not only make me more fruitful, but also cause other people around me to have more fruitful lives? That's my passion. I'm like, Tonya, you only get to take a break if you're being fruitful. You only get to take a break if you're helping other lives be fruitful. And I just think that Mississippi, being the special state that it is ready for women to rise up and be fruitful, and then multiply that fruitfulness through their businesses, through their organizations, foundations, ministries, whatever they've been called to do, whatever their hands are doing, they have to do that. So making room is huge, mm-hmm. huge. You can't go to that next level. And really, I'm through with levels. I'm ready for the next dimension. Dimension is 7 levels at one time. Mm-hmm. You can't go there if you don't declutter, if you don't get organized and make room. So that's really what we have to do.
And you've said it, that last one about what we want for women, and then to be able to multiply that with other women is definitely the answer. And I think it's definitely where we are. Well, it's always been that's what we want for ourselves and others. But as people have said over and over again, our time is now. This is a wonderful time for us to do that. So thank you for sharing that. That's great. Wow, we done had a workshop session right there. Okay.
Saturday Success Church.
Yeah, that's right. And I want to talk a little bit more about small business in the state of Mississippi. I want to ask you, what do you think of some of the largest threats to small business right now? And then what other additional resources you think on a state level that is still needed to kind of halt the losses that we've received so far around small business development?
I think the biggest challenge, and when I'm talking to business owners, small business owners, because with the city of Jackson and the state of Mississippi, we have a large number of one employee businesses, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. So, but one of the biggest challenges is funding, is finding and receiving really beneficial funding that comes to really support and undergird the business so that it can really thrive and grow in the marketplace. I think when I'm talking to business owners, they're always saying either the lending that they're experiencing is predatory and the interest rates don't really support their growth, or they can't receive what they need without a whole lot of extra unnecessary paperwork, red tape, whatever you want to call it, slow processes. Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest things that is really affecting our state is processes that are systemic processes that have been put in place that really, they don't cultivate the innovative spirit. Mm-hmm. They really, really actually break that spirit and beat that spirit down. Yeah. And I would love to, which is another reason why I was so proud to take this new position as the project director for Ready Nation. It's because we want to work in a bipartisan way. I think the only way we're going to get work done moving forward is to work across that aisle. That's going to have to happen. And that a lot of work needs to happen across the aisle as it relates to small businesses with their funding, with making sure that they have opportunities to be mentored. I think a lot of times, especially in our communities, people have really great ideas, but we don't come from business. So, unless I can be talking to a friend of mine from another culture, and her grandfather had a business, her father had a business, her uncle had a business, her brother has a business. She has all of these resources and tools that are available to her from a very, very young age on how to run an effective business. And a lot of times we're one deep instead of three deep. Yeah. We're the first one trying to break out and take a dream and make it come to pass. And I think if we have really favorable funding, that helps us. And if we have opportunities to be mentored without a long process, without a difficult process, that really helps women and businesses in general grow and thrive. And I'd love to see something in the legislator in our Mississippi legislator come forward that would help us. When I heard the news with the CARES Act funding that they were going to be setting aside a certain portion of funding for minority-owned businesses, a lot of people that I talked to, it was very difficult for them to access that funding. Right? I couldn't, and I'm super organized. I applied for it, I just couldn't get it. And a lot of times, I think that it's because we don't have the foundational support when we're setting up our businesses that teach us how to work within this system to get what we need to thrive and grow.
And be part of the process. Because a lot of this, as you state, is systemic bad policy. Right. And why set up, even when you're looking at the dollars that come through Mississippi, and believe me, folks don't understand the millions and millions of dollars that come into this state that is lost. Some of it is almost like wasted away and thrown away by the side of the road. Some of it is sent back. Some of it is going to places that doesn't even have anything to do with what its mission and goals are. And so when you talk about the business development piece, is that we have to come to the table and be part of that process. Even if you're somebody who is not in business, but you're thinking about being in business, start right now being part of that process, part of that dialogue. The two things I hear all the time is, Miss Ware, I can't get funding, and Miss Ware, I can't get mentored. I just, the mentoring is, a person is excited to help me for the first 2 or 3 times. And then when I get into the thick of it, I can't reach them. I can't find them. I don't have a support system that will help me navigate this system, the processes of this system, so that I can really sustain my business and then scale it up and grow it. And then I can't find the funding, or the funding it's insufficient. It's difficult to access. Those are the two things that I hear the most when I'm working with business owners and entrepreneurs. And that's why I think, heels under the table, having more women at the table is so, so important, because, even with my children, it's my nature to help and support them in their growth, right? And women, when we come to the table, we not only have answers, a lot of times have the best answers, but we know how to manage, we know how to operate, we know how to develop operation manuals that will make companies and organizations flow effectively. We know how to get the work done. We just have to have someone open the door. And if they don't want to open the door, we have to knock down the door and find our place and our seat at the table. That's just going to be so important if we're going to see the ones coming up behind us actually have a path to run on, a track to run on. It will take us getting in policy positions and inside the organizations to make sure that we give people an opportunity for fairness in business in the state of Mississippi, because it has to happen. And I want to talk about the mentoring piece, because even within our own organization, we have credible women from all walks of life, and I think a lot of times many of us like to help and support, and like as you state, to specifically mentor individuals along, because I think that's the best way to really, because just telling people something or say, hey, here's this document, here's these steps, the people can visualize, they can actually emulate even sometimes the successes that you have. But one challenge that I hear over and over again for women, especially successful women, is that I don't have time to mentor. I don't think I could be successful at mentoring. I operate differently than most people do. Those are particular, and they're legitimate issues. So how do we help women, successful women, provide that mentorship that so many of our young women and our young boys need?
And you're right. Those are not only objections; those are valid objections. I know how busy my life is, but maybe the Women for Progress Business Lead is their answer, right?
Yes.
Maybe there needs to be an organization, a funnel that people can say, I can donate 2 hours to this, and I can do it consistently, and maybe I'm going to make a 6-month commitment for 2 hours a month to mentor a person in this particular aspect of business. And I think that it just takes the kind of leadership that says these are the 7 primary tools people need for success, and we're going to get 7 individuals to provide that training so that we can have a holistic program that will really help people. So yes, those objections, they exist out there because most women in business are also married. So child, right? And most people in business are not only married, they have children and school-age children. So I have one, Wisdom's on full scholarship at Tougaloo, but she's studying at home. And then I have Wealth that's studying she's in school, in person classes. So by the time I get home from carpool, my attention has to be devoted to making sure her life, I impart to her those things that are needed for her life to be successful. However, I have to keep seed in the ground for the success of my business by helping others. And I think that that's something that we really need to teach in our own community, and we need to teach just in the nation at large, is that we are better when we prefer each other.
Yeah.
We are just better when we say, I know this is going to take 2 hours of my time, and I know that I'm already tired, and I know that I've got other work that I need to do, but I want to sow a seed so that I can see a harvest come forth. And I'm thinking now, 30 years from now, what do I want the business landscape to look like in the state of Mississippi? How do I want early childhood education to look like in the state of Mississippi? How do I want the workforce to look in 30 years in the state of Mississippi? Well, we have to sow some seeds to get that harvest, that tree that we want to see 30 years from now. And so, maybe the Business League is the answer to that.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that too before we wrap up. And that's kind of a segue into the work that you're going to be doing with the Ready Nation, and that you're already doing with Leadership Greater Jackson. Tell us about. Now, I think I had. Let's see if I can get in my iPad, my device. Okay. One of the things that the mission for Ready Nation Mississippi, which is part of a larger organization called the Council for a Strong America, engages the mission says it engages law enforcement, military, business, faith, and sport leaders who promote evidence-based policies and programs that enable kids to be healthy, well-educated, and prepared for productive lives. And that its vision is to strengthen the nation by promoting solutions that prepare young people to succeed. And one of those areas is around entrepreneurship, and which is you've been already doing through Leadership Greater Jackson and through your own church organization. So why? Of course, it's obvious that the reason why we need to start early. But just expand on that work around Ready Nation and Strong America. What are their goals in setting up shop here in Mississippi?
So they've been here in Mississippi for some time. I'm just now getting involved with the organization. Of course, it was my extreme joy and pleasure to lead Leadership Greater Jackson and Youth Leadership Jackson for almost 4 years. Then COVID-19 happened and we had to close the classes. So we graduated our first Youth Leadership Jackson class through the mail ever in the history of the organization, and our first virtual adult Leadership Greater Jackson class. But I'm always just keeping my ear to the ground on ways that I can expand my work, and came across the opportunity with Ready Nation. And I was immediate. I feel like I've been doing this work, like you said, forever. So it was a natural transition for me. But one of the things that got me really excited about the Ready Nation work, I was invited. I went to speak in San Francisco for an event, for a conference, and someone that heard me there that was connected to the United Nations then contacted me and asked if I would come as a thought leader and speak at the Global Entrepreneurship Forum at the United Nations in New York. I was standing on the side of the stage getting ready to go up to speak, and I thought to myself, how did a brown girl from Mississippi that was diagnosed with dyslexia, as a young girl, end up here, as a thought leader. And if I trace it all the way back, of course, God was there all the time, his favor on my life. But if I trace it all the way back, it was a foundation in high quality early childhood learning that created a foundation for my success. From that early childhood, high quality early childhood learning, I received mentoring. And then from there, the favor of open doors. And so Ready Nation's primary focus is to bring business leaders together to help them see the value in supporting policies that will enhance and empower a greater workforce. And in doing so, our goal is to fight crime, to fight poverty, to fight the prison incarceration rates, to bring young people into an opportunity where the spark on the inside of them is lit, and they find their purpose and discover who they are early in life, and they're on a trajectory to success. And so I am so excited about, even the name gets me excited, a nation that's ready for right now and ready for the future happens when we give every child in Mississippi the same opportunity. Wealthy, my 10-year-old, was extremely upset to find out that even though she's had an iPad since she was 3 years old at Jackson Academy, that her friends in the Jackson Public School don't have the same things. She says, "Mom, how is this possible?" I said, because there are laws, policies, things that are happening within our world that prohibit some children from receiving the same benefits to success that other children receive. She said, "We got to do something about it." I said, "Yes, we have to do something about it." And she said to me one time, she says, "So if I receive this, isn't it right that every other child is supposed to receive this?" I said, "Sure. Every child should be given all the necessary tools for success in life." And Ready Nation wants to bring the business leader, especially the top level C-suite business executives, into this conversation, helping them to use their voices, their influence to drive policies within our communities to make sure that we bring high quality childhood learning programs and opportunities to children in the state for those future workforces that we're trying to develop. And I'm excited about it. I think that if you can raise up the most vulnerable, or if you can lift up a child, you've done something great.
Yes, and I think when we say child too, there is no category, there is no economic circumstance you can put her in, him or her in. Children everywhere should have the same opportunities to throw, because we never know when we have a little Martin or a little Obama, a little Michelle that's going to empower us, and now a little Kamala that is going
I mean, we know that when a child comes into this world, they have potential. We just have to mine the gifts, right? Mm-hmm. We've got to dig in there and discover, let them discover what they're good at. We've got to light that spark on the inside of their little spirits. We have to make sure that they have all of the opportunities that they can to absorb knowledge and grow and develop in their skills, so that when they start to grow and get older and older and older, they become not just a challenging word that has that greatness, but an adult that has that greatness, a business owner, a leader, a pastor, a preacher, a teacher, whatever it is that they want to do in life, we give them that platform for success in that place. And I'm super excited to see. We'll be working with a lot of allies because this work is already happening, but we'll be really, really digging deep as it relates to the types of policies that we want to push forward that will really create a level playing field for all children in the state. And we'll be bringing business leaders into that conversation.
And I want to remind our audience too, right now there's committee meetings happening. A lot of people think, well, the legislature session doesn't start until January, but the committees are meeting right now. They're running now, and you can be part of that conversation. I mean,
budget meetings, all kinds of stuff is going on.
Yeah, and those meetings are open to the public, so you can attend those meetings. The ones that are in person, there's some that are being broadcast live on the website, and we'll share that, by the way, on the Facebook page and on our page, on that link, the state website, where you can even tune in and sit in with those. But you need to be part of those conversations right now. We need to be emailing if you're part of an organization. Even as an individual, you don't have to wait until your group decides that they want to speak out on this issue or this particular topic. You email your representatives on both sides of the aisle. I think we get caught up, Pastor Ware, that says, well, I voted Democrat or I voted for this person. And let me tell you something. Every single seat in the House and in the Senate is your representation.
Right.
They have a responsibility to advocate for you. Okay. Right. Your tax dollars is not split between Republican and Democrat and Independent. Okay. So
this is the bipartisan work, and it's got to happen that way. Yeah. And really, just for me personally, and another reason why I became involved with Ready Nation Mississippi was because I really want to be able to say, when I get to the end of my time, my days, my life, I really want to be able to say that I did something on a grassroots fundamental level to push the progress of the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of any other group to better support and pour into and impart into and give and love and nurture than our children. Yeah. And so it's because someone did that for me. Again, looking at my moment at the United Nations as a child that struggled in school. I mean, it was a teacher that came along and said, your mind is brilliant, Tonya, you can do it. And she just kind of took me under her wing. I didn't ask her, was she Democrat? I didn't ask her, was she Republican? Mm-hmm. I gladly accepted the help and the support so that I could become, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what we want as women. We want to become. We have been called to this high calling, this great thing in life, and we want to become. So in becoming, we do that by helping others become, showing that support to others. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you so much. And how can people reach out and not only support your work that you're doing around Ready Nation, but also to add to their resources, their time, or their information to be able to empower this work around children?
Yeah. So I think you mentioned it earlier. You can go to TonyaWare.com and connect with me there, and I'll be glad to come and share more on Ready Nation, any of the work that I'm doing with the Success House. I have to give them like an air hug right now since we're not hugging. Yeah. But just anything that I have within me, it's open and free, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that it's important that I let people pick from my life. If I saw myself as a tree, a fruit tree, you never see an apple saying, "Don't touch that apple. That's for me at 2:00." Yeah. that fruit tree is for other people to come walk along and say, wow, there's an apple tree, and to take and receive this nourishment so that their lives can grow and flourish. And so just reach out, TonyaWare.com, reach out to me through Women for Progress. Just check me out on Facebook, but I'm available and would love to come and help support, share. This work has to be done, and we've got to do it together.
Now, we got just a few minutes left, and I do want to touch on the work that you're doing with Women for Progress, because when you're talking about being pregnant with something, oh my goodness, our Women's Business Networking Committee and group has been around for, now 43 years since the beginning. Women for Progress has been empowering women in business and helping expand their capacity. So we're excited that we've been continually doing this through the pandemic process and helping and supporting women in various ways. But it's time now for us to birth a lot of things and opportunities for women. So we're going to be doing a lot of things, the great things happening this Sunday. Is our meeting is this Sunday, the 15th, at 5:30. We will be talking about what our next is around that, and we want women to jump on board, and we're going to meet whether we have 2 women or whether we have 200 women on Sunday. Right. And that's the great thing about Women for Progress. We don't wait till the whole crew come to the table. We start and do what we need to do. And I do believe in also building it, and they will come. So we're excited about this new vehicle that we're going to be doing around a lot of things we talked about today in supporting women. I am so excited to have Tonya Ware as director and leadership of that effort so very much. And she brings so much to this work. And she's been, of course, supporting this organization for a very long time. It seems like we've known you forever, Tonya.
I know. It feels that way. I just, I came to Women for Progress and I found a home.
Yeah.
And I think that's so valuable and so precious, is to find a drama-free women's business organization that's really doing work that really empowers the community. Yeah. And I walked into the Women for Progress organization and thought, wow.
Yeah.
I found all my aunties and cousins that I've been missing.
Yeah, and we immediately grabbed you up and put you to work, and you've been working ever since, including our theme song. Now, if I was just really tough on you, I'll tell you to sing a couple bars of that theme song.
It's so funny because you text me early one morning. Can you do a theme song for this organization? I'm like, sure.
Isn't that something?
I've trained over the years to just say yes.
Yes.
My mentor told me, he said, Tonya, just say yes, because the capacity is in you. Just say yes. Yeah. And when you say yes and you take that step, all of the universe is going to get there and help you move and get that thing done. So you're right. On this coming Sunday, we're going to meet with whoever wants to meet, and we're going to talk about more ways to expand our ability to empower women. I think that any way we can grow the organization and any way that we can bring in women that are not members, because we want to be for all women. This organization is for all women, and I want to be a part of that. So I'm excited to lead this group. Yeah.
And those of you that are listening right now, there's going to be an arm of this effort that is open to all. There's some member benefits too, but there's also going to be a portion that some women say, well, I don't want to join an organization, but I do want to be empowered by this information. And so we're going to provide that.
Call to action?
What's that again?
So can we do a call to action?
Yes.
When the women receive the link, just invite 3 additional women.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do that, and I'll do the same. I'll go further than that. I'll invite at least 10 women.
Great.
to join this call so they can hear about the upcoming birthing of the Women's Business League through the Women for Progress, and how it can really support the work that they're trying to do and give them a safe space to grow and develop.
Yes, and right now we don't have the link up. So if you email me at mail, M-A-I-L, at womenforprogress.net, mail at womenforprogress.net, we'll shoot you that Zoom link where you can join the conversation. And then you can share that link to the other women that you want to invite. So we want to make it very, very easy for you, and we'll put it in our feed, and we'll also post it up right after this broadcast on our Facebook page for you to be able to share. So this has been an amazing conversation, and as I knew that this hour would fly by, I am so blessed to be able to sit here every Wednesday with dynamic women like yourself and talk and about solutions and to share the inspiration and the work that women are doing throughout the state of Mississippi. Somebody says that when you support women, you support the whole world.
You did.
And so we're so happy about what women are doing in this state. We're going to continue to grow. And I'm going to tell you, folks, you better look out. 2021 is going to be amazing for our community, for the city of Jackson. You need to get your excitement on right now. Start patting your feet right now. That gets the juices running. Yes, because it's going to be so exciting that you're not going to be able to contain all of it at one time. So start right now getting excited, so you can coast on it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to remind you all again that the City of Jackson City Council Ward 2 Forum is tomorrow night. Right here on Women for Progress Facebook page at 6:30. That's Thursday at 6:30. It's going to be live here on all of our other radio networks too. That's iHeartRadio, Spreaker Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify. Go to our radio site at womenforprogressradio.com, womenforprogressradio.com, and all of our links and stuff is there. There's even a little button if you just want to hit it and join the conversation live there. So, and we're so excited also to have attorneys Monique Montgomery and attorneys Crystal Welch, who is going to be moderating that particular forum. And the special election is November 17th. We need all voters, especially those first-time voters in Ward 2. We need you to show up again. Let's stretch that muscle. Now that you're registered voters, you got to stretch it and work it. You got to show up every time. It can't be just on presidential election periods. You have to show up every single time to really maximize the opportunity of your vote. So November 17th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is a special election in Ward 2. And then the forum where you can hear the platforms and the conversations of all the candidates on the ballot is Thursday right here on Facebook page, City Council Ward 2. So join us for that live conversation. And remind you again that there will be a link shared at the end of that broadcast where you can give your comments and you can even vote on who you think should be will best serve the constituents of Ward 2. So we want you to be part of that particular conversation. And we'll post up that information from Delta on the event around the World AIDS Day on our Facebook page, so you can follow up with that information too. Again, this has been the Working Woman Report. I want to share with you our website again, womenforprogress.net. If you'd like to join the work of our organization, if you're a woman and you want to connect with us, connect your time, your resources, and your talents with this organization to empower our community and our state and each other. We want you to reach out to us. Go to our website. There's a join button there. Once you do, fill out this very small app. Our amazing Director of Membership Development, Miss Vicki Mumford, will give you a call and walk you through the process, tell you more about this organization and how you get connected. Now, we some women on the move, so I have to say this may not be a good fit for everybody, but everybody who wants to really make a difference in a big, big way and use your time and your talents, this might be the place for you. So we want you to check us out. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Pastor Ware. This has been amazing. This has been a great learning process. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it on our page. By the way, you can go back to our Facebook page and click videos and rewind and listen to this again. And please share. Please share these conversations. If you missed it or you thought it was a great show and you think somebody else will be inspired by it, please share this video with others. You can do that from our page, and make sure that you tell people to tune in every week. Send them to our womenforprogressradio.com website and tell them to hook up to all of our programming that's available. All right, this has been the Working Woman Report. We hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, fantastic rest of the week, and stay inspired. Thank you so much, Pastor Ware. Bye-bye.
Thanks.